Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to episode 70 of Stateside of Port UK. I'm your host. I'm very happy, might I say, Stateside Cab. Joining me today, Mr. OKC. Wait, hold on. Something is not right. It's not right. Hold on a minute.
I knew something was up, man.
Something is not. I'm a bit hot.
I knew something was
Excuse me,
up.
I'm a bit warm. Sorry, the trim is a bit mad, so
You
let me
hate
just,
to see it.
Lads.
Bro, one win.
Excuse me.
One game a week United, man. This is what we get. This is
So
what
my
we get.
intro is not actually done. Have some manners for the 3-point holders in the room. Mr. OKC, Mr. Asna. Red Humph. How are we doing, brother? How are we?
I'm here cut a frustrated figure. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Out of every team in the league, I don't mind losing. You know what I mean? Every team's gonna lose. But to United at home, conceding 3 goals, and they're giving you goal of the season contenders at the carpet, and they do
2 of them, not one.
Serves up. Cowabunga serves up. You hate, bro. Let's start the pod, man. Did up serves up at my carpet. When it rains, it pours, man. When it rains, it pours. Okay, see on a back-to-back loss as well.
Hey, I saw the Scotty Barge play. I said, damn. Oh, you weren't trying to win that game. You weren't trying to win.
Back-to-back loss. Bro, we're now down to 6 available players. If anything, they could get us on the bench. They could get us on the bench. We might even get some game time. So, and I'm seeing quarterbacks go to the Super Bowl that aren't half as good as my quarterback.
Same, but it's life. It's life.
So, you win some, you lose some. I've enjoyed some wins this season. Going for a little bit of a barren run right now, so it's just one of these. Just keep it pushing, man.
Shit up, matey. Not everyone can have Michael Carrick at the wheel. Shut up, me.
Michael Carrick is what they call him.
What did Rio say? Give him the paper,
bro.
Let him sign it.
Blank checkbook.
I'm not there.
No, bro, blank checkbook. Nah. He's got you all playing the United way.
That's all we needed. That's all we asked for.
He didn't have to co-sign from anyone. That's just how he plays.
Mad. Mad. But don't worry, for your sake, unfortunately, not taking this off, matey. Not coming off. But
I don't blame you, bro. I draped that on me as well if I'm a United fan.
You know what I mean? So we'll get into basketball matters, shall we? To take your mind off of things. I mean, I don't know if we really can because OKC, you're first in the West, but similar to Arsenal, it's right now. It's not great, but
Drop them down to the pack, and I don't like it.
You're getting ever so close to the people, them. You know what I mean? But we digress. Let's get into what we're going to get into, man. Let's do some of the headlines doing the rounds in the league at the minute. Derrick Rose finally had his jersey retired by the Chicago Bulls. Good ceremony. I saw Luol Deng. I saw Tom Thibodeau. I saw all the gang was there in the United Center. It was great. Giannis is set to miss at least a month's worth of action due to a right calf strain injury. So about 4 to 6 weeks he's set to miss for the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo. And today, time of recording, 26th of January, if you must know, 5-year or 6-year, I should say, anniversary of Kobe Bryant's tragic passing. He's been honoured across the sporting world and across social media. As we do, Stateside out. Let's get to all of these very briefly. Derrick Rose. I know you're not the biggest Derrick Rose guy out there. For some reason, I don't know. By the way, I don't know what he did to your franchise.
I don't like him or I hate him. I missed out on his best moments when I started watching basketball. Started watching back end of 2012. I don't see his best years 2010, MVP year 2011. Then the injuries happened, and then I started watching. So when Derrick Rose was at his best, I wasn't around watching basketball like that.
But even then, you have to, respect the things that you've seen. The hardware on the shelf, putting Chicago on the map, a franchise that was on his knees, and he's the person that has brought them back, still on their knees now, by the way. Could use a Derrick Rose type character at the minute.
Facts.
He's doing his thing and that, but, face of the franchise level guys. That's what Derrick Rose was to the Chicagoans. And you could just sense the love. You could sense the emotions. Everything was so high. Even Tommy Tibbs was cracking a smile crack you showing all 32. It's not like him.
I've never seen him smile this much in my life. I was
Do you know
watching a
what I
couple of
mean?
the videos on Twitter.
Because he was remembering the good times. You know what I mean? And that's all you can do in these kind of things, man. So, shout out to Chicago, shout out to Derrick Rose, because fair play, you got to honor your legends when time is right,
Of course, 100%. Obviously, like you mentioned there, just to echo really what you're saying, put Chicago on the map. Do you know what I mean? They were a dying franchise after what MJ done for them for all those years. D Rose came there, restored the feeling. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and I feel like with basketball, a lot of people get hung up on like rings and accolades and this and the other. If a basketball player comes into your city, especially if he's from there, and he restores the feeling, that's what sports is really all about.
Exactly.
Your team like United, you're down and out. An ex-legend comes back. He's restoring the feeling. That's what sports is about. I can't stress that enough. So when you're seeing them hanging up D Rose's jersey, and all his ex-players, coaches and stuff are there to support him, you love to see it.
It's things you love to see, man. Shout out to the 3-point holders on the weekend. By the way, I can't remember if I mentioned it or not. Can't remember. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Injured, unfortunate. I'll be honest. However, we understand for the Bucks, not great. Where are they in the standings at the minute? I checked this a minute ago. They are 11th in the Eastern Conference at the minute. Quite a ways away from a play-in spot, by the way. So a lot of work to do without Giannis. Is that work getting done? Don't think so. But behavior as of recently has been a little bit strange. Stateside, I don't know if you've seen the clips of him, and it probably was due to him being injured, slow to get up the court in the same game that he got hurt as well. He's been talking not recklessly per se, but he's been saying a lot of outlandish-ish stuff to the media in regards to a lot of these guys. They're trying to do it themselves. They're not trying to play team ball. They're not trying to get me the ball in the clutch. There's a lot of language that is kind of screaming, trade me, without actually saying the words, I don't want to be here anymore. And, we've been having this conversation in regards to what Giannis has been like for, the best part of like 3 months, 4 months. We even brought Paige, shout out to Paige as well, big Bucks fan, on social media to let us know what's going on. She was ready to go. I think she's still ready to go. The question is, Stateside, by everything that you're seeing, it looks like Giannis is ready to go as well. By the way, before you even answer that, reports are coming out saying that the Bucks are, coming to terms with the fact that a Giannis trade might be incoming. So whatever internal, discussions are happening, the reports start coming out, the behavior that you're seeing, do we have to come to terms with this thing is probably over, man?
I mean, the guy's a winner. Do you know what I mean? The guy, he's back to, I think, two-time MVP?
Two-time MVP.
Two-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. He's got all these accolades, All-Star.
I saw, by the way, 7 times in a row NBA All-First Team. Won't get it this year because of the minimum games.
65.
Yeah. But still, that hadn't been done. I want to say the only people that have got more is LeBron James and Carmelo.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like the corridor like that he's in with these great players. Like I'm saying, MVPs, Defensive Player of the Years, All Stars. I mean, he's playing the biggest moments. Like it means something to him. He's one of the best superstars that actually. How can I word this? He's a tryhard. You know what I mean? He don't play cool. You don't like take games off. He don't cheat you in terms of effort like you see with Westbrooks and stuff. He's cut from that same cloth. So then when he's won all of this and he's, as we're talking with D Rose, put Milwaukee on the map. Has won them the championship in the last since the 50 years or something like that. And you're feeding him this team to go and win, to compete. It's almost like a spit in the face for Giannis. Do you know what I mean? So then he grows frustrated. Then he starts acting a certain way. Now he all of a sudden this injury comes out of nowhere. That injury comes out of nowhere. He's kind of sulking, not running back on defense when that's just not his game. That's just not in his nature. But if he wants to leave and he's just unhappy, he starts doing things out of his character. Do you know what I mean? So if you're the Bucks office, you got to look at it to say, how much more of this can we deal with? Or can we actually bring serious players to incentivize them to stay, to convince them that, yes, we are actually serious of competing, knowing that you're in your prime, age 31. But then you're at the age 31, now you're starting to get these injuries. Now you're starting to get these niggling injuries. So It's a little bit confusing, the direction of the Bucks and where Giannis obviously wants to go. I think there's like a week left of this trade deadline, before the trade deadline, so it'd be interesting to see where he lands. Obviously, they're talking about New York as well. They're another team free falling. I'm hearing noise about Cat possibly leaving, so I'll definitely keep my eye out on that. I keep talking about the East and the opportunity that's there. If I'm New York, I'll see what Giannis is saying because he does not look happy in Milwaukee.
Really doesn't, There was something else that I was supposed to mention. The booing of the Bucks in general. I know they were getting blown out, and I think it was against the Nets or something like that. I can't remember now.
Nice to see your home fans booing you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He booed it back. He said, "Hey man, if you're gonna boo me, if you're gonna be in my lowest moments, no problem. I'll act accordingly."
That's how you know it's just rotten over there, man.
Yeah, man, he's tired of it all, and fair enough. And I think in that same interview, he said that this is not what I deserve, even though I basically lead this franchise in every statistical category, and have the jewelry to prove it as well. So it's not great.
We played Milwaukee I think it's like a week ago. Shea went for like 40 points on like 80 something, whatever, shooting. But when I watched it, bro, we like I said, we're only down to like 8 players maybe. Bro, there was no life in that stadium. There's no life in that arena, bro. I was watching, it's like this ain't the Bucks. Like there's just no life in it. Like Giannis was kind of in and out of the game, really. There's no threat from them. There's no juice in the crowd. I'm like, yeah, Giannis don't want to be playing in this type of environment.
Shame. Trade deadline very fast approaching, so we'll see what happens in regards to what the Bucks are going to do. So you spoke about the Cat one. We're going to speak about that in our Eastern Conference bits as well, because like you said, New York, not great. At the minute, it's not great. Last one, Kobe Bryant. It's nice, I think. It's refreshing, because it's somebody that, the streets will never forget, especially the NBA community across the world. Tragic what happened to him in regards to, the helicopter accident. It's nice, I guess, Stateside off to see the good memories of some of his old teammates. I've seen a few football clubs as well. AC Milan, who I know he had tight ties with as well. Others remember and commemorate what was a real role model to the sport and to people in general, even people that don't like sport. They speak about the mentality and how much from afar, of course, they admired what Kobe was and what he stood for. And we talk about putting people or franchises on the map. LA don't need to be put on the map because they've been LA for a long time now. However, somebody needed to hold that mantle of being the superstar and the face of the Lakers for a period of time. And for the 20 years that he was in the NBA, as you know, he was, the Black Mamba. So it's nice to see the memories and the tributes on the anniversary of Kobe Bryant's passing. You're muted.
I mean, 100%. I kind of echo everything that you just said there. And with Kobe, when you watch him, when you see him at his best, what I spoke about with D Rose is Kobe was one that restored the feeling. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't think people understand like the magnitude of a player that can restore the feeling, that can make you love the game of basketball to such an extent, like that you try and embody obviously what they are, the Mamba mentality. It's not just relating to just basketball players. You like you mentioned, like football players, tennis players, just athletes in general, trying to adopt that type of mentality in their normal everyday, just normal human beings as well, trying to adopt that type of mindset in their everyday sort of like being. So it just speaks to the influence that someone like Kobe, had in the world, not just the game of basketball. So I remember it hit me like a ton of bricks when I heard about it as well. But all praise up to him and his daughter, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think it's one of those things that's like, where were you when this happened kind of thing. I remember exactly where I was. I was coming home from work and I was on the stairs, and on the way up to my block of, I live on the top floor of Astoria Flats. On my way up, I was like, no, this ain't real. And then when I found out it was, I'm like, damn. And I just kind of stood outside for like, I don't even know how long. I was just there. I was like, rah, this is crazy.
I shed a tear or two,
Bro, this was the biggest athlete that probably has passed like in our lifetime in regards to basketball.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's like, damn, like, even though, like, does it directly affect me? No, I don't know him. I don't know his family. Exactly. But it's like, rah, like, I feel something right now. This is crazy.
100%. And the fact that his daughter was in there as well, that whole thing just broke me, bro.
bro.
You know what I mean?
Honestly,
But
man. Honestly.
like I said, when you speak about Kobe, if you speak about the good stuff, the influence, like I keep saying, like he had on the game of basketball, the world in general. I think he was like a writer, like he won an Oscar. I think he did.
Yes, he did.
Just before his passing,
Yeah.
creative director, something like that. So yeah, like I'm saying, just shout out to Kobe, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Let's get into our Western Conference chat rundown. How's the West looking at these days? As we said, OKC getting a little bit close to the pack, 37-10 at the minute. It's not quite, the 73-9 that we thought there was going to be. Impossible now, just in case you weren't, up there with the maths.
Same thing with the 15-goal record as well. Both in the same day.
Oh dear,
to see it.
Oh gosh, it's not a good state. It's not a good day in Stateside. I'm Southside right now. Spurs coming up there. They're tied with the Denver Nuggets, who we'll speak about very shortly as well. Rockets, Lakers, and Suns occupy the rest of the play-in spots or playoff spots, I should say. Pelicans, Kings, Jazz. Yeah, they're the bottom of the West. Nothing good happening down there.
You see what Zion was doing to Wemby last night?
No, actually, I haven't seen much of that game.
Bro.
Dark.
Zion confuses me, man. Just when I think I've let it go, but I see what he's doing to Wemby of all people, bro. Sorry, carry on. Zion is insane.
I mean, if it helps, like, just think about it now. Like, Wemby doesn't have a lot of bricks in his back pocket, and bro, Zion has probably all of them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Zion's a crazy talent, man. You know what I mean? I just don't know. I don't know what he needs for him to like scale his talent in terms of like team success. Because I think a talent like that has to be in some sort of like playoff setting environment.
I've got something for you. We're gonna do spoiler. We're gonna do Trade Machine a little bit later. Right. When it comes to trade deadline coming up, I thought it'd be a nice little time. You tap in with me then in about 30 minutes time.
I got you.
I've got something for you there. But one thing I did want to mention, it happened a little bit after we recorded last week's episode in regards to Golden State Warriors. Jimmy Butler unfortunately has gone down and is out for the remainder of this season. ACL injury, which thankfully is not. There's worse injuries that you can get in this day and age in basketball. However, you're still going to be out for a long time regardless of ACL injuries. They're not something that you want to play around with. And I was very much of the standpoint, coming into the season and midway into like first half of the season, Golden State, as good as, they could be, they were very inconsistent as well. I thought if they didn't make any moves, and they still haven't made really many moves in regards to some roster shake-up to give them a better chance to compete against the better teams in the West, they weren't doing anything. And I kind of am still there, maybe a little bit even worse in regards to Jimmy's not there no more, and he was giving you great output, by the way. Jimmy Butler's a regular season hater, but he was still hooping regardless. And now he's not going to be there to alleviate a lot of the, ball handling responsibility, scoring, pressure off Steph Curry. You're asking a lot of 36, 37-year-old Stephen Curry to, take you to the promised land again. And shame that Jimmy Butler has gone down, but it's, not really changed my standpoint. States, I don't know if you'll let me know if I'm wrong, that the Golden State Warriors weren't going anywhere anytime soon, and now they're really not going anywhere anytime soon.
I mean, I was kind of talking about this on my TikTok live the other day. I was thinking with this Butler injury, which I think is the same right knee that he tore a couple years ago. So it's a horrific injury. Do you know what I mean? Especially for someone his age. And I was asking some of the boys that does it beg the question that Curry might end up retiring maybe a year, maybe two earlier than he anticipated, because they swung very big on Jimmy Butler, giving him 120 for 2 years, and he's now injured. You know what I mean? Possibly, obviously, hopefully not, but possibly career-ending injury. And because once he comes back from an ACL at the age of 38, 39, what value is he going to give to a team like Golden State? Do you know what I mean? Where will Curry be at that time in his career as well? So it would beg the question: is Curry even going to end up retiring earlier than usual? Like, I just don't know what the landscape of Golden State is going to look like in the next year or two, and I don't know what trades can really be made, considering they've given up. Like I'm saying, they've given a lot of money to Butler. Do you know what I mean? So it's what do you have to trade to get someone in to help Curry, because we all know it's Curry's show over there.
It's interesting, actually. I'm thinking about it now, and I'd like to think that Jimmy Butler strikes me as a guy that, as long as he's in a good like winning situation, like he'll give you what he has, or he'll give you what the team needs. And as he's gotten older, his game has not been so predicated on his athleticism. Like he even got offended by a reporter the other day that was asking him that, oh, you don't really be dunking anymore, you don't really be jumping up no more. And he was like, but I can still do it. It's just, I don't need to necessarily. And now I'm assuming that, during his recovery, he's not going to be so focused on when I get back, I need to be the same Jimmy Butler. Well, as long as I can give you a little bit of what I was, which was, 20 points per game, handful of rebounds, assists, decent defense as well, then he's still a positive player for like a good playoff team, one of the better teams in the league. And I'd like to think that he could land himself a situation. Again, spoiler alert, there's been some reports in regards to Jimmy Butler potentially being moved just because how dead set the Golden State Warriors are trying to get Curry another championship. Jimmy Butler's injured, you're not going to be helping us this season. Well, you might as well go somewhere and hopefully we can get something for you, and I have something that potentially maybe you'll say yes, maybe you say no, I don't know. But do you, I guess the question I have off the back of that and that thinking is that, do you think that would be a bit harsh then in that case? Because they did something similar with with Melton last year when he got hurt and he was like, oh, well, you're not used to us, off your pop, see you later, Is that a bit cold? Is that a bit ruthless from the Golden State Warriors, if that's the line of, thinking that I believe they have?
I mean, bro, anyone can get traded. It's a business at the end of the day. We saw with Luka last year. Anyone can get traded. I just think if Curry either gets traded or he retires, like I'm saying, I just want to see it. I'm looking at it in like a macro sort of lens with Golden State that I think they're cooked. I think they're finished. Once Curry decides to hang up or he gets traded, you're just not going to get anything close to what you have in Curry, even at this stage of his career. Do you know what I mean? So with Jimmy as well, if he decides to get, because didn't Lillard get traded from the Bucks back to Portland?
Yep.
With an Achilles injury? Happens.
Yeah, but it wasn't working, so like it was a bit different. It was still a bit mad, by the way. They got criticised for it, So it could be a similar in regards to Jimmy actually likes it there and he was playing well, and then he gets injured. Oh well, off you go. Could some people see that as a bit cold?
It's cold, but the business side of sports is cold. It's colder. It's cold out there. It happens. It happens. It's like there's no loyalties in this sport, and these superstar players, they know this as well. They know this. And they I'm sure they teach the young players that's coming into the league that, hey, you can get traded like this, whether you're a superstar, whether you're a fringe player, whether you're a role player, don't matter. Obviously, I'd hope they keep him there, nurse him, and obviously see what they can get from Jimmy once he gets back to full fitness. But like I'm saying, it's going to be at the age of 38, maybe 39. Once he's fully got his legs underneath him. But then at that point, what's your objective as a team?
Yeah, it depends.
It's very bleak.
There, yeah, it's true. If he is still there, then it's like, was that the greatest thing to do? $50 million? I'm not sure. But as we always say, let's see in regards to what happens with the Golden State Warriors. Quickie on the Denver Nuggets, by the way. Since Jokic went down, we kind of thought, oh yeah, disaster. They're finished. They're going to be tumbling down the West. Well, when you look at the standings, it's tied for second with the San Antonio Spurs. You look at what some of their players have been doing. Jamal Murray's missed a little bit of time, but when he's been available for them, yeah, been doing it. It's been real number one option level for them. We were joking about Peyton Watson, a couple weeks ago, player of the week. Are you sure? But nah, he's really been hooping and he's been getting, praise from the likes. I saw KD give him really good praise in that. This is what, people can do when you give them the opportunity, and Peyton Watson's grabbing them, the ball with two hands. So I guess the question I have for you is, are you impressed or are you surprised, I should say, that the Denver Nuggets have been able to, steady the ship and are pretty much giving Jokic, when he eventually does come back, the perfect platform to, take them to another level?
That's what the Nuggets would have hoped that would happen. That, Jokic will be out of the lineup, but then it will give everyone the opportunity to build relationships with each other, know, each other's strengths and weaknesses, gel, because every time they bang on about Jokic off court minutes and the how other teams come into it once Jokic goes on the bench. So they'll feel like with this little stint where Jokic has been out, obviously they'd rather him play. It gives them the opportunity and the chance to to get to know each other's game, to learn how to win without Jokic. Do you know what I mean? Gives some of these guys the opportunity to showcase their game. There's this one guy I'm trying to look for. He's been balling out for the Nuggets as well. I can see his face, but his name eludes me.
Is he light skinned? Is he
Ish? Nah, I think he's a brother.
He's a brother, real brothers.
Where is he? Where is he? I'm looking at the box score. Is it Jalen Pickett?
God. Point guard. Yeah.
He's been balling out recently. But yeah, ultimately, it's kind of the best case scenario for the Nuggets right now. With obviously Jokic out, he will come back soon. What's his name though? I seen Aaron Gordon. He was kind of touching his hamstring a bit, a couple of games back. So it's like that grade 2 that he tore just in that OKC series last year. It's kind of there or thereabouts. So they might have to nurse that a bit going into the playoffs.
But they're in a good situation in regards to, look, now it looks like, okay, we can rely on this core group of guys to actually steady the ship. And then we don't have to rush, Aaron Gordon back because our seeding is bad. We don't have to rush Jokic back because we're losing a few too many games. It's like, let's really see what we can, have in these guys before playoff time really comes. Let's rest them. Let's not rush anybody back. And then by the time playoff comes, everybody should be ready to go, and we should be able to just blitz everybody. Not to say chemistry might be an issue because these guys have played together for a little while, the star players that are missing time. But Jokic is the best player in the league. You can drop him into any situation and he's just going to make it magic. You know what I mean? So I'm very hopeful, and I'm very I don't want to say excited per se, but I'll use that for lack of better words, to see what the Nuggets are going to have for the league, especially when their stars come back. And now that we know that a lot of these guys can actually really play, especially when Jokic has to miss time. I'm just saying, you guys at the top, you watch out.
It's nothing to watch out for. I mean, I think we're just missing bodies. Then again, we're going to a month in February where we're playing a lot of the 500 teams, so it's definitely going to test us. We've lost a lot of games where we just have no business losing. You know what I mean? Especially in the East. We only lost to the Cavs once and beat everyone home and away last season. But now we're losing 30 to the Charlotte Hornets, who, to be fair, they've just beaten the Sixers by 30. So, but we're losing to teams we're not supposed to lose to, because it's all a combination of injuries. J-Dub coming back, missing the first 20 games. It's a bit tumultuous. A bit. What's that phrase when the plane turbulent?
Good word.
It's a bit. It's not smooth sailing like it was last season. It wasn't smooth sailing like it was in the regular season last season anyway. But I've just made a video on TikTok anyway, just saying I expected the season to be harder, but I think it'll just make us better and just stronger in the playoffs once everyone comes back.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. And then finally, this one came across my my For You page. I want to say it was from Player's Choice, but I could be very wrong. They were talking about Klay Thompson, and they were not, maybe surprised is not the word, because we understand that, when you get older, you get worse as a basketball player. That's just what happens, But it was in regards to Klay Thompson and what he's been putting on display for the Dallas Mavericks. And just a few numbers for you, Stateside. I have his basketball records page here.
This is shooting splits.
He's shooting splits are right in front of me right now from field goal. So overall, he's shooting sub 40%, 38% right now. He's shooting 38% for free. So I mean, he's basically exclusively shooting threes, basically. However, this is, and 38% is not a bad average away. That's actually above league average, if I'm honest. I'd say league average these days, this is for, like, especially for a wing, is about 36%. If you're 36% from free, good shooter. So 38% is not bad. However, this is not necessarily the Klay Thompson that we're used to. We're used to the 43%, the 42%, the 41%, the 44% one year
with great defense.
With defense as well, and I'm giving him the the defense. Going off the tracks, just because you're getting older, and the younger guy should help you and pick up the slack a little bit, especially Dallas, who have a younger core that are defense first, you could say. But in regards to what Klay has been showing and his shooting, tailing off, shooting being the skill that should, just kind of stay with you and traditionally has for a lot of players in NBA history. There's no easy way to say it. And I think I know what you're going to say. And I think I know what I'm thinking as well. Is Klay Thompson just washed? Is he any value to any sort of winning team?
Remember I called him a bum the other time with John, and I got a lot of heat for it. So I got to watch what I say about Klay right now. To be fair, I think when you've had an Achilles injury and ACL injury back to back, I think in the space of a couple months in the off season, and then you've played a lot of playoff games, you've played a lot of long, grueling NBA seasons. It takes its toll on you because shooters, you need your legs. I mean, you need your legs underneath you, and I feel like it's also a mental thing because he went to Dallas thinking, I've left Golden State. I mean, my chapter there is finished. I'm going to Dallas with Luka and Kyrie, and I'm in the mind space. I'm in the headspace of I'm going to be one of the starters on there. I'm going to be one of the shooters they're going to rely on in big playoff spots, and everything just flipped on his head. You know what I mean? And Dallas now they're looking like a team that's going to miss the playoffs, and Klay's now in a situation where he just has not been in probably before his rookie year. You know what I mean? Where his team is just petering down the bottom. So it's like first of all, I have a lot of mileage in my legs, and second of all, I'm in a team that's just not aspiring to win because of injuries or whatever. We traded the best player, so it's like, and I'm living good in Texas with my missus and stuff. So it was one of them ones. You enjoy.
Good is an understatement, by the way.
I cannot stress it enough. I cannot stress it enough. But we will keep it on the court. There's only so much he could have done. Do you know what I mean? I feel really sorry for him in that sense because going to Dallas, like I said, he probably expected to be in some sort of like a championship sort of setting scenario. It gets you in a certain mind frame. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like now, bro, Dallas, it's a little bit of a laughing stock. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think he's even taking it serious.
Yeah, for sure. And I think he's been, like you said, he's been disillusioned in regards to he thought he was coming into this situation. It's very easy to play with Steph as well, just because there's a certain gravity that he has that nobody else has, where it's like, oh, I'm a great shooter as well, and I'm getting even more open looks. This is great, And he's come into this Dallas situation, especially now when, there's not too much shooting around. So it's like, okay, as long as we take Klay out of the game, or as much as we, do that as much as we can, probably have a good chance of winning. And that's probably been the formula for a lot of teams when they have to face the Dallas Mavericks. Don't let Klay get, good looks. And he really hasn't. Anytime I watch Klay highlight tapes, he's forced in a lot of stuff, man. And it kind of shows that you could say he's frustrated. You could say that he's, potentially struggling in the offense, and they don't have the point guard that Kyrie or Steph or whatever the case is that he's used to, that can draw a lot of attention and get him a little bit of space, or a little bit more space than he's used to. But it's a tough one. I still think a shooter of that caliber, you can't just brush that aside, and you can't just make that an afterthought. You're not just gonna sag off Klay just because he's shooting 38% for free. Because like I said, 38% for free is still good, and he's somebody that if you let him get a few in a row, then you're gonna lose the game. He still probably has that in him. So is Dallas the place where he's gonna be playing his best basketball, and where he can be relied on to do that and help them up the standing? Probably not. And he's on a very tradable contract. I know we're talking a lot of trades, but it's trade season right now with the trade deadline coming up. He's only making about $16-17 million a year. So if he's really that unhappy and AD goals, and I've seen Marshall is in trade talks as well. Maybe he gets disillusioned and maybe he's unhappy. He could be valuable for somebody. That's what I'm saying.
100%. I 100% agree with that, because I kind of see him like when Danny Green left. I want to say either Toronto or the Spurs, either one of them. Do you know what I mean? But like the back end of his career, but like he went to a Toronto team that was set to win. Do you know what I mean? So it's like there's a level of responsibility that you put on yourself. Klay's a big game player. You know what I mean? I don't call him Game 6 Klay for no reason. I was there watching with my own two eyes. You know what I mean? And it's like he came to this Dallas situation to feed off of Kyrie and Luka's gravity. I mean, he was gonna get quality wide open looks. And he's looking to feed off Max Christie and Cooper Flags. I mean, shout out the American flag, but bro, this is not what Klay signed up for.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But like you mentioned, there's a lot of value in Klay's game for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. Stateside, as we wrap up our Western Conference preview, episode 70 of the Stateside Report UK, shall we play a game?
Let's play a game. Let's do it.
Quick game. Well, maybe. I don't know. But, I have to weed all my kings in there somehow, some way. Dennis Schroeder, Dennis the Menace. He's been talking. He's been saying, trade rumors. Well, questions have been posed to him about trade rumors and him potentially being moved on again, and he just flat out said, "Don't care. It doesn't matter. Whatever happens." And fair play to Dennis. It doesn't scare him to be traded. Probably because he's been traded so many times, it doesn't affect him no more.
And he gave up 83 million with the Lakers.
Luka didn't let him forget, by the way, the other day. I thought that. I was like, hey, man, why is he talking about like that? This is just
absolutely brutal.
Disrespectful, So I thought I'd feed off that. We like a little quiz. We like a bit of this or that on this podcast, Stateside Umph. So in this variation, in today's episode of Will You Go 6 for 6 Michael Jordan, who has been traded the most between two players that I will give you, it should be fairly straightforward. It's very similar to what we've done in the past, just in a new set of rules, format, whatever you want to call it. Can you do that for me? Can you do that for the people?
Let's do it. Let's see how I do in this one.
Say you do. Can you go? I don't think you've ever gone 6 for 6, Michael Jordan, but hey, maybe today's the day.
We will both be there when that day happens.
Yeah, we will. We will indeed. In your dreams. Who has been traded more? Oh, no, tell a lie. Who has played for more franchises? Dennis Schroeder or Chris Paul?
Ooh. Give me Dennis Schroeder.
Final answer. Let me just get the trusty basketball reference. Here we go.
So I've seen like a whole rainbow color of Dennis Schroeder's jerseys and that.
Well, I've seen it for Chris Paul as well.
Not as much. Not as much.
Well, final answer. Chris Paul has played for 7 NBA franchises.
He's played for 7.
7 could very well be 8 as well coming up. Chris Paul 7 franchises. Dennis Schroeder 10 franchises. 30% of the NBA. He's been there.
Get a pass around like
somebody that's cold.
Good God.
All right, but hey, shout out to Dennis. He's on my team, so that's mine.
He was on my team before, of course, obviously.
That's mine.
I'm a keeper.
Okay. Here we go.
God.
Who has played for more franchises? DeAndre Jordan or Cameron Payne?
Give me DeAndre Jordan, Clippers, New Orleans, Nuggets. Give me Cameron Payne.
Final answer. Cameron Payne has played for 7 franchises. Right. DeAndre Jordan has played for 8. 6 for 6, Michael Jordan ain't happening for you, matey.
We'll get him next time. What?
8?
How?
I wish I could.
Are you making this up?
Nah.
How's Chris Paul played for 7 franchises, by the way?
Is he how old is Chris Paul these days? He almost 40, no? Checks out.
Yeah. Are we counting him going back to the Clippers one more time? Is that count as 2?
How many teams has he played for?
Right. 7. I mean, you're talking about DeAndre Jordan. And like Clippers DeAndre Jordan. What? The one that put Brandon Knight in the body bag. We're gonna have to do one of the best posters because I've seen LeBron on Jason Terry the other day on TikTok. Palmer, Cole, James. Bro, the commentary, it's so underrated on that as well. It's so good. So you love to see it. And then he walked up. But yeah, anyway, let's carry on the game. We'll do the posters another time. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Who has played for more NBA franchises? Rajon Rondo or Isaiah Thomas? IT4. Rondo. Final answer. Rondo's played for everyone. Pretty much. Rondo's played for 9 franchises. I knew it was a lot. Ooh, but IT though. IT4. 10. 10 franchises in the locker, in the chamber. He's had a lot of pit stops though. And the marathon continues. He has. Bro, he needs to hang him up though, low key. High key, to be fair. But we're not adding like Drew League and stuff into it, are we?
Oh, absolutely not. If Drew League stats count towards your points total, I think DeMar DeRozan would be up there.
10 teams.
Top 10. Wait, 10 teams.
Wow.
10 teams is crazy.
That's a lot.
I know, right? Give you a couple more, matey, because you know, 6 for 6, all that. Who's played for more franchises? JaVale McGee. Or Trevor Ariza?
Ariza's played for a lot of teams as well. But so is JaVale. I mean, I'm on a downward slope right now. Give me JaVale McGee.
Final answer.
Sure.
That's not confident anymore. Trevor Ariza has played for 10 franchises. JaVale McGee has played for 9. Oh, this is a disaster.
Bro, can these lot stick in one place? What the hell?
Can you imagine?
Just chucking anything at a wall, seeing what sticks.
These men have done double digits.
But I'm saying, I just know Trevor Ariza and both Jamal, they've moved around a lot.
Yeah, dog.
But it's just, we're splitting hairs at this point.
Last one, matey. 2 players that are still in the league, by the way. Who has played for more franchises? Jeff Green, Uncle Jeff.
Jeff Green. Give me Jeff Green.
Or Garrett Temple.
Ooh. He's been about as well. Give me Jeff Green.
Final answer.
He's been, yeah, Jeff Green.
Jeff Green has played for 11 franchises.
There is no way Garrett Temple has played for more than 11. There's no way.
Garrett Temple.
Why are you smiling?
According to Basketball Reference.
Has
played for 12.
You
12. You thought this was the banker.
Wow.
12.
I thought it was the banker. This could have missed.
Bro, 12. What? Mad thing.
12 teams. Bro,
mate,
I was deeper. Like, how do you move like wife and kids when you're being moved to this state and that state and this city and that city?
Bro,
honestly,
he's basically played for a new team like every year. How about this? Houston, Sacramento, San Antonio Spurs, Milwaukee Bucks, Charlotte, Washington, Sacramento again, Memphis, Clippers, Brooklyn, Chi-Town, New Orleans, and now the Toronto Raptors. Do you want to hazard a guess who has played for the most in history? It's 13 teams.
Are they in the 2000s?
Yes.
2010s?
Yes.
The most teams?
Who has played for the most teams in NBA history?
Oh, they're God.
Yes.
Oh, Ish Smith.
Ish Smith. Ish Iranian.
You gotta give me 6 for 6 for that. You gotta give me 6 for 6 for that, surely. Bro, I'll pull that out of the bro. Yeah, he's been about. I don't even know where he's at right now.
I don't think he's in the league anymore. If he is, I'd be shocked. I'd be so shocked.
Last time I seen was Washington, I think. Obviously.
Last time I saw him, I couldn't even tell you, to be honest. I haven't checked Ish Smith in a minute. Why he currently plays for? He's not on the team at the moment. He last played for the Charlotte Hornets, 2024.
Of course he did.
Not retired.
Everyone has to pass through Washington and Charlotte before they retire.
You've got to, matey. You know, if you want to be a real journeyman, you've got to do it. You've got to do it. You know?
Saying, but you got to add that in the edit, that Ish Smith one, because
no.
I'm saying. I was out here chucking up BS in the game when you really needed the last shot.
Bush, you know.
Came up with Ish Smith.
There we go, man. There we go. I know a lot of the streets didn't know that as well. I know.
Facts.
I'd back myself to guess that, but it'd be tough.
They call me a casual, but I know a thing or two. Just a little bit.
What team does Kelly Oubre play for?
Who?
What team does Kelly Oubre play for?
He said the Sixers right now. I think.
Good. Very good, mate.
I hope. Yeah, I hope he hasn't moved around.
He's in trade talks from what I heard, to be fair.
Of course he is. Bro, it's kind of...
Do you know what I mean? With Kelly. Anyway, another Charlotte Hornet, by the way, as well. Yeah, used to play for them. Shall we move on to the Eastern Conference as well?
He's joining me. Yeah, let's do it.
We spoke about Karl Anthony Towns a little bit earlier. It's New York. It's not great at the minute. If I look at the standings, you know, on paper, It's not that bad, you know. Fourth in the Eastern Conference. The Pistons obviously still first, far and away, by the way. Celtics, Raptors, Cleveland Cavaliers, and the 76ers make up the playoff teams. As we know, the Wizards, the Pacers, the Nets, down there in the Eastern Conference. But we're talking about the Knicks right now. And Karl Anthony Towns has held a lot of flack. A lot. We put out on the Stateside TikTok, what's the one trade that your team never made? And an interesting comment that I saw, I believe it was on, I think it's actually on the Instagram. Someone said that I wish my team never made both of the Mikal Bridges and the Karl Anthony Towns trade, because we had to mortgage a lot of our future to give ourselves a chance at the NBA championship, which I understand and I get because New York has been screaming it for a long time. But we could have made either one, the other, or none of those trades, and that person argued that they would have still, developed into the team that we're seeing today. That's arguable. We'll argue that another day. However, stateside, what you're seeing from Karl Anthony Towns, the slide that they've gone on, they were at one point 2 wins in 10 games. It was bad. And he's held a lot of responsibility for underperforming in that point of time as well. Where are you at in regards to the Knicks' championship aspirations that also involve Karl Anthony Towns?
I mean, I would be surprised if the Knicks end up keeping Karl Anthony Towns, I'd be surprised if they end up keeping him just off of the fact that there's so much noise going around with him leaving and with what we were just speaking about earlier with Giannis, him throwing tantrums, him getting these calf injuries here and there, surprisingly out of nowhere. I think the Knicks would just have to cut their losses. It kind of resembles a little bit with the whole Kuminga situation, where for some reason there's just always noise in and around that certain player. They can't do anything without trade talks and this, that, and other, and it starts to get a bit old. You know what I mean? It's because when the Knicks lose, they always try and find a scapegoat. Scapegoat always tends to be Cat. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, obviously, Brunson, he's out here giving you 30 points, but giving out 15, 20 points on the other end as well. But because he is, New York savior and stuff, he's never going to get the same flack. He's never going to get the same heat as Cat. But I've seen Cat win New York playoff games against Detroit on the road and won them game 4 against the Pacers as well, 20 points in the fourth quarter, something like that. That's a quality player in there, but we all know his, defensive deficiencies and his foul troubles, and he's not perfect. But if there's an upgrade with Giannis, I'm taking that. As much as people might love Cat, I'm taking that.
He's adopted to life in New York in regards to the lifestyle and obviously being there and abouts, born in the area as well. I'd like to think that he loves being a Knick, and he wants to help bring success to that franchise. However, if I'm strictly speaking on the court, especially with him and, as you mentioned, Brunson's defensive deficiencies, if you're trying to compete, and especially if you're trying to be a really good team, it's hard to hide 2 defensive, let's say, liabilities, for lack of a better word. It's hard to do that, man. And
that's exactly what they are, liabilities.
And if you want to have to pick between the 2, you're not trading Brunson. That's not happening, and he's on a quite good contract, sacrificed a lot of money to help build this team as well, by the way. Cat, unfortunately, seems like the odd man out. And that's not to say he can't be valuable for somebody else. That's not to say he's not one of the best big men in the NBA. Whether we put him at the center position or the power forward position, he can get it done. However, when you're in a place like New York and the spotlight is on you and the pressure is cranked to the max, man, you either get it done or you have to get out of there. It's as simple as that, So I don't necessarily like the talks in and around Karl Anthony Towns trade, because I'd like to think, Mike Brown, you're a good coach, right? You're supposed to be the championship guy. You're supposed to be the guy that's going to take them over the top. Figure it out. Cat has, in the beginning of the season especially, talked about his displeasure in regards to what their offense was like and him finding his place in there. That was especially, apparent in their little poor run of form. Hey, man, head coach, figure that kind of thing out, because these kind of talent is not going to grow on trees unless you can get somebody better than Cat, i.e., a Giannis, somebody else that maybe is not coming to my head as well. If you can get somebody like that and it's going to cost you Cat, then yeah, sure. But if you're willing to down tools and get somebody that's not as good as Cat, but yeah, it will make us a better team all round, then at that point, I'm not sure, because as I said, Karl Anthony Towns is still a talented player. And I like to think that they should be working a little bit harder to figure it out.
100%. Well said. No, because, but then Cat knew exactly what was going to happen when he went to a team like New York. Do you know what I mean? When you're playing a big market, the fans are loud, the media's loud. Do you know what I mean? They got to the conference finals last year, so they expected this year NBA finals will bust. Mike Brown knew exactly what he was getting himself into. That's why they prolonged after they sacked Coach Tibbs to try and get a coach and to see who can get us to the finals. Do you know what I mean? So it's these talks, these loud talks in and around the fan base, the media in New York. It's always going to be there until they actually, I don't know, get to the finals or win the whole thing. Which I don't know if they're best positioned to do that right now. Maybe if they get Giannis, but then even if they get Giannis, it's not a guarantee. It's not a guaranteed thing to say that they could get to the finals or win it. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot of question marks with New York, and I feel like every season, every year is different from the last. So if they don't make the finals, it does not mean they failed. But New York fans are not going to hear that. They're not going to hear that. So we'll see what happens with New York moving forward. But as of right now, I don't think they primed and positioned enough to get to the final. Even if they make the Giannis trade.
If they make the Giannis trade, I ain't gonna lie, I might be sipping some of that New York tea, but we will see. We may see. We will see, as you said. I don't know. Maybe the short-term position is just move him to the floor, get Mitchell Robinson back, starting into the lineup, give him a little bit more minutes, and then see where you go from there. I don't know, Stateside up, but too talented to, be struggling, too talented to, have his name in these kind of talks, in my opinion. So sort it out, New York, sort it out in my eyes. Somebody who's doing exactly that, technical difficulties, Unk in the room over here.
Had to hit the panic button.
It's all right, matey. Here we are again. We're just getting into one of your favorite players in the league, Joel Embiid. We were speaking to TalkSport Sam Harris. Started an NFL podcast, by the way. Big, stinky Indianapolis Colts fan. Terrible franchise, but we move. He's also a Philly fan. Big Philadelphia 76ers fan, and he was hopeful that, hey man, if we can get Joel Embiid to do anything, success is there. We don't need him to be MVP Embiid for us to be all right, because Maxey, Edgecombe, they're the future, and they were hooping at the time, beginning of the season. Joel Embiid, though, slowly but surely, he's been getting there. Stateside up, he's been showing flashes of what MVP Embiid was looking like. I watched the game versus the Rockets when he was going against KD, he was going against Şengün, little boy Şengün. I can't lie, So when you're thinking about what he's been doing, when you're thinking about how to talk on his name, people saying he was finished, washed at the beginning of the season.
I was people
right now. He was what? I was one of them too. I ain't gonna lie. But when we are here now and we're looking at Embiid and what he's been doing for the Sixers, do we have to put a little bit more respect on what's going on? Do we have to put a little bit more respect on what Philadelphia have going on in regards to playoffs, championship? I don't know.
Championship, it's a bit much. Playoffs, 100%. Do you know what I mean? With Embiid, I was more so out on him because I wanted to see MVP Embiid. You know what I mean? I feel like when you see Embiid, when you think of Embiid, you think of Embiid at his best, dominating. Do you know what I mean? Dominating the bigs in the league, like you said, when he's going up against a promising young center in Şengün, showing him the levels, showing him that I was winning MVP before you were hitting the bottle. You know what I mean? That's the Embiid that I think of when I think of Joel Embiid. So it's just we're getting like a lesser version of him, which kind of takes away a bit of like the mystique and just how dominant he was in this league when he was at his best. Do you know what I mean? I feel like the Sixers have done a great job of nursing him in terms of like his injuries that he's had. Yeah, what a word. Let me pull up the handbrake on that. Rehabilitating, flipping heck.
Peace, chai.
Wow, that word. Do you know what I mean? They've been taking care of him. Do you know what I mean? Taking care of the old boy.
You need to rehabilitate. Hey, I can't even say it now myself. You need to rehabilitate the rehabilitation.
You just have to take a little deep breath before you say certain words, and I didn't. But I just like how he's been nursed. You know what I mean? No pun intended with the coach, but into getting back to some relative good fitness. Do you know what I mean? Because at that point, his talent is just gonna show. Do you know what I mean? Joel Embiid at 80% is better than most of the league. Do you know what I mean? And I guess that's the point that you want to get him to because you just know you're never gonna get 100% Embiid again. But then you can kind of surplus that with your Maxis and your Edgecombs and the other pieces are in and around them. So you use the 82 games to try and blend those pieces together, see what you can get from them once you get into the playoffs. I think there'll be a tough out for sure.
Wish I could say the same for Paul George. It's not really doing
I
it.
completely forgot about Paul George.
Yeah, you see, when you talk about someone being washed in regards to what you used to be compared to what you are now, yeah, I have no hesitation in my regards. In regards, Paul George is washed. I saw a good dunk from him the
Blow
other day.
my mind.
Make a lot
Yo.
of money as well. But look, if that's the only negative and the only problem, quote unquote, that you have to be dealing with, then it's not bad. It's expensive, 100%. But Embiid started to hoop. Maxi, all-star starter, which shows you how much of a high level he's playing at as well. Rookie of the year contender and VJ Edgecombe as well. Look, it's not bad in Philly. Like I said, the talk in regards to them at the beginning of the season, do we need to start thinking of a real rebuild? Do we trade Embiid? Do we trade Paul George? Do we need to do all of that? Well, I guess where are you in that regard as well, actually? Do you think they should be aggressive as the trade deadline is coming close? Because now they do see, no, we can compete. Embiid is not fully, just finished. Do you think that maybe there's some moves that they can make here, there? Or do you think, we're in a little bit of a tight spot with the money and, it'll be difficult to get some real talent in the door? Let's just stay with what we have and see what we can do.
I think the latter. I think you stay what you have and see what you can do till the end of the season, and then at that point you can reevaluate, see what you have, see what you need to let go of. Paul George will probably one of them be one of them. You know what I mean? I just don't know where has gone wrong with Paul George. I know you have like injuries and stuff like that, but in terms of his game, he just don't really give you anything substantial where you're like, Paul George might be back. Do you know what I mean? Or this was a vintage Paul George performance. You know what I mean? I don't think you see that enough, if at all, really. So if they were to axe certain players at the end of the season, he 100% would be one of them, especially with that contract. No one's trying to take that on, especially not Philly. If they can get rid of him, they will in a heartbeat.
The maddest thing about sports, I was just thinking about it now, is like you were talking about Derrick Rose. You didn't get to see the pomp of Derrick Rose, so it's easier for you to be a little bit more of a hater. People ain't seen the pomp that are getting into basketball now these days of Paul George. So it's like they'll see him and it's like, okay, little handle here and there, but he ain't shooting it particularly great. He ain't scoring. He's not really playing with confidence. Why are you lot glazing this guy? Why is it? And he was a damn good player in his pomp, in his prime. But the good people of today, unfortunately, will probably never get to see that. And if they're new fans of the NBA, they just won't know. And it's mad to say, mad to say.
Yeah, because I seen a video on socials. I think it was like either college or high school players. They were asking, who's the best player in the league or who's, I don't know, top three or whatever. Paul George's name kept coming up. And it's like, if you actually watch Paul George's game, how silky it was, how smooth it was, how he used to shoot off the dribble from two, from three, can get to the paint, three-level scoring. Defensively as well, he just gave you the whole bag. Do you know what I mean? Offense, defense, whatever you want. Until obviously he came up against LeBron and, most shrink
Yeah, but
in
that
front of the
happens
king.
to everyone, though, it feels like.
Most shrink in front of the king. We could say the same thing about DeRozan as well, but I don't want to stray too much off topic. But with Paul George, in terms of aesthetics, one of the prettiest games you would ever watch. I mean, come to OKC for those couple of years in the MVP season in 2019. I thought we got a KD replacement, but I may have jumped the gun a little bit too much. But in terms of when Paul George is at his best, there's very few basketball players I'd want to sit and watch or pay to go and watch in person. I seen him live as well in LA. He dunked on Zubac, I think it was, or someone, or Dwight Powell. He's ridiculous. I love Paul George's game when he's on it, but he rarely ever is anymore.
Don't worry, matey. In the clip, the Erykah Badu is playing. Don't worry. The Paul George theme song is alive and well.
Exactly.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, matey. Or the I don't know. We'll see.
Just mash it all together.
Maybe, matey. Maybe, But that's very interesting. I'd like to know the people, like, who's somebody that you see, like, now, and it's like, because you didn't watch them, you just don't get the hype, or you don't get why people are so enamored with them? That's probably a good question to put out to the people.
Probably like what's that point guard in Utah? Play for Darren Williams. Darren Williams.
He was good.
Darren Williams, Danny Granger.
Mm.
Them type of bowlers.
See, unfortunately, people go on.
Roy.
Brandon Roy.
Him. Just didn't watch him.
For me, and I've come to appreciate these guys, especially as they got older. Kevin Love.
Okay.
Because I didn't see the real Minnesota K Love. I only saw Cleveland spot up shooter type vibes K Love, and then everything after that. He's one. But I just saw an argument today that he was a top 10 player in the NBA and he's pumping. And I was like, okay, fair enough. I didn't watch him like that, but all right. I'm trying to figure, is there anybody else as well? Somebody, maybe today people will say DeRozan. In regards to when he went from Toronto to the Spurs, it was like, okay, nobody's really seeing him anymore. Had some flashes with the Bulls.
I mean, his game isn't the loudest though. That's the thing.
No, but it's kind of like little cuts here and there, and then fourth quarter will come and it's like, watch out.
But then when you're programmed to watch a Kevin Durant or a Giannis or a Westbrook or LeBron, Curry, the Rosen game it won't tickle you. It will tickle your pickle, fancy, whatever. Editor, do your job. Do you know what I mean? And some people kind of attribute that the same thing with Shea as well. But Shea plays at such a high level that you have to respect that. You have to respect his game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And he's a champion as well, so it's like that's the league MVP as well. So you have to respect it. But that type of game, if you're a pure hooper, you enjoy it either way.
I want to say I would class DeRozan as a pure hooper though, and I like to think that he gets respect, especially from Toronto fans, in regards to this was the face of a franchise for a very long time, and we
talking about the masses though. Talking about the masses, like casual fans.
There's still a lot to. Maybe it's because he's on my team that I'm caping for him right now. But
he is, isn't he?
Yeah, he's on my team.
Yeah,
good. He's like all-time mid-range shooter.
But I'm saying it's like the loudness of his game though. It's not a Westbrook and LeBron Curry.
Because he could dunk it in his pop.
Yeah, but not to. You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yes, I guess.
Because the casuals, bro. How do you think I became an OKC fan? Because of Westbrook and KD. In my head, I'm programmed to know that a point guard is supposed to turn the corner and flush it.
That's why the people in the UK like Ja right now.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Put on a show, yeah.
Because, bro, imagine Westbrook and them lot are in the prime now. People lose their mind. You have way more OKC fans than you do now. Way more. Because that style of play, again, it restores the feeling. You're like, whoa, what the hell is this? This is not real. You know?
I get it.
But like I'm saying, Paul George's game, when he was on it,
something special.
Yeah, man. Yeah. One of the best. One of the best.
Stateside up. I've been teasing it for a minute. Let's get straight into it. Shall we play one more game?
Let's do it.
Trade machine. We know the drill. You've done this before. This could be the last one as well after the trade deadline, because until the summertime we ain't going to be talking trades. Until hopefully some more trades happen, because more need to happen. Come on, the NBA need to buck up their ideas.
Right.
You know the drill. I'm going to give you some trade scenarios that the people have made up, and I just want you to tell me if you would do them. If you were a certain team's GM, can you do that for me? Can you do that for the people?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, man. So here's the first one that I have here. I didn't take a picture of them. I've just saved them. Here we go. Here we go. This is an interesting one. This involves, I'll let you know the trade, and you can let me know if you will do it or not. If you were the GM for the New Orleans Pelicans, would you trade Jordan Poole, Sadiq Bey, Jose Alvarado, and the first-round pick for LaMelo Ball?
You're gonna give me someone serious, man. You're gonna give me someone serious, because like we were mentioning in the pod, bro. The talent Zion is, he needs to be in the playoffs. He has to be in the playoffs.
So you don't think LaMelo can?
No, hell no.
Little bit. You know what Lonzo was doing for them? You think LaMelo can't do that?
But that's the thing. I haven't seen LaMelo in the playoffs, bro. How is he gonna get Zion in the playoffs? Who hasn't been in the playoffs himself? Do you know what I mean? When you're talking about like a Chris Paul, he went to to the Clippers and turn them into a playoff team. I don't know if LaMelo as a point guard as a floor distributor, if he can turn a team like the Pelicans into a playoff team. I don't think so. So I'd say I'll be giving up too much for it. So thank you, but no thank you.
Okay. More Jordan Poole hoops for you. You know, I hope you're happy.
Yay, fun.
How about this one, Macy? Free teamer. You let me know if there's a team that says no to this trade. Is there a team that says no? The New York Knicks receive Wendell Carter Jr., Haywood Highsmith, and Jalen Suggs. The Orlando Magic receive Karl Anthony Towns and Day'Ron Sharpe. The Brooklyn Nets receive Jonathan Isaac, Jet Howard, and all the first round picks in the world. I can't read that many, but good man of picks. Is there a team that says no?
Probably New York, you know. Because when you're giving up Cat, but then who you getting in return? Wendell Carter, Highsmith.
Jalen Suggs?
You lose out on a little bit of the size though. I don't know if Wendell Carter can. If I'm the Knicks, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go for it. If I'm giving up Cat, you have to give it. That's a crazy statement to even say. If I'm giving up Karl Anthony Towns, add it to the job. If I'm giving up Karl Anthony Towns, bro, I have to get something crazy in return. Not obviously, like I get Wendell Carter, Jalen Suggs. To be fair, bro, Suggs has been injured a lot. Do you know what I mean? And I know defensively he's really good. Wendell Carter as well. He's a good, decent big, but
Solid, yeah.
Bro, you're giving up an all-star. You're giving up an all-star and Cat. I mean, I need more. I need more if I'm giving up Karl Anthony Towns.
Would be a good trade for the Magic though, because you know he'd sort out a lot of their shooting
100%.
issues, and they have the defense that can protect him in in a lot of situations. And your boy Anthony Black, that'll be his leeway to start as well.
Facts, and you're still keeping Franz and Paolo. Yeah, the Magic would be winning, but the Knicks they would have regressed for sure.
Fair enough. Who's the next one on the agenda? Bear with me. Here we go. It's a Sixers trade, funny enough, and I know you said they shouldn't make no moves, but I'm giving you one anyway. If you were the GM for the... which side should I give it to you, though? Let me give you this one. If you were the GM for the Brooklyn Nets, would you trade Michael Porter Jr., Terrence Mann for Jared McCain, Paul George, 3 first-round picks?
That's something. What the Nets, Brooklyn? That's something that does sound like something they'll do as well. It sounds like they shouldn't, but it sounds like something they'll do.
Would you do it? Get PG's money that probably expire in the next couple of years. You get Jared McCain,
and then you're taking MPJ over to the Sixers.
Yeah,
I don't mind that. If I'm the Sixers, I don't mind that. But then if I'm the Nets, yeah, you know what? Deal. Sign the dotted line.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
Mighty, I don't think that's a bad. The picks is probably too many picks, but
it's not
I don't
the
think
worst
it's bad.
deal.
Yeah, it's not the worst. It's not the worst deal I've ever seen. I'm like, you know what, fairly balanced. MPJ can be like a third scorer for Philly as well. Floor spacer obviously as well.
I hope he doesn't. I hope he don't stay in Brooklyn for the rest of the season.
I'd be surprised.
Yeah,
because their MO should be trying to tank and not win games.
He's too good. He's too good to be staying there anyway. You don't want that Brooklyn stench to stay on you too long before you get traded.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
Do you get me? Here we go. We got a couple more for you, matey. Couple more. This one's a little bit more of a low key one. If you were the GM for the Indiana Pacers, would you trade Benedict Mathurin for Jaden Hardy and Derek Lively?
No, because the Pacers look at Mathurin as such a big talent that they want to nurture, and they feel like he'll be a big star in the future. Someone that dropped almost 30 points against OKC in the finals. I mean, he's got great talent, great size, athletic, can shoot the ball, and he can run the floor. I'm not giving up that type of talent. I know he's been injured a lot this season, but I'm not giving up that type of talent for what you're giving me. So, thank you, but no thank you on that.
Last one, matey, before we wrap up. Episode 70, Stateside Report UK. If you were the GM for the Golden State Warriors, would you trade Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, 2 second round picks, I should say, for Asa Newell and Kristaps Porzingis?
Say the trade again.
Would you trade Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, 2 second round picks for Asa Newell and Kristaps Porzingis from the Hawks?
I would. If I'm going to State, you had me at trade Kuminga. Just get him out of there. You know what I mean? Like I said, Kuminga is good enough to go to his own team, not his own team, but a team that'll give him a little more rope. You know what I mean? To make mistakes, to learn about his game and kind of polish his game offensively and defensively. I think Golden State, he's done the best that he could on that end, but there's just always going to be too much noise in and around his name. You just got to leave. So if you give me a decent enough trade package like you've just given me there, I'm taking it.
You get a potential, and I'm screaming potential, but potential, Draymond replacement in Arsenal. I don't mind him, actually. Good rookie coming into the league this year. Yeah. And obviously, Kristaps is a definitely win now, kind of player. And obviously has championship experience, winning the chip with the Celtics only a few years ago. So I'm not angry at it per se. I think you could get a little bit more from them. Maybe throw in a Risa shade just because, if you're not going to give me some picks, let me get some talent, in the door for Golden State. But I'm not angry at it. I think Golden State Warriors fans would think they can get more. But, hey, man, Trae Young went for no picks, and he's the only trade that's happened so far. So, basically, chooses there's not going to be a lot, it seems like, happening. So, if something does happen, hey, man, you shouldn't tell your nose that for something that might help Steph Curry win a ring, because that's the prerogative, right?
That ship is sailed, man. I mean, I'd say I hate to tell Golden State fans, but I'm happy to tell Golden State fans that ship has sailed.
As we saw, unfortunately, there's a few too many of them in London, so I don't think they're gonna hear it. Unfortunately, But
it is what it is, man. Everyone had their time, and I think Golden State, they won almost 10 years ago. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. You hop on the bandwagon, you hop off, go to OKC or go to Celtics or something.
No, you don't go to OKC. You don't do that. You go for another challenge. Yeah, you go for another challenge. I see a team at the bottom, and you're like, who can I buy my stocks in now when they're cheap?
This challenge in the Sacramento. If you want to talk about stocks, I'd say go to a team like San Antonio, or
they're second in the West,
or the Charlotte Hornets.
You don't even like LaMelo.
I like what they got going on without LaMelo. To be fair, I like Conconipo. I think you should get Rookie of the Year this year. Don't just give it to Flag just because. Yeah, really? Yeah. Even him or Edgecombe. But Flag is going to win it.
Yeah, Flag is going to win it because that's the rightful winner, by the way. Rightful winner.
Subjective.
Yeah.
Subjective.
We'll see what the people are saying. We'll see what the people are saying in regards to it. But we've come to the end. Stateside Report UK, episode 70. It's been great. It's been fantastic. A few unk issues here and there, but are we surprised? Not really.
So part of the Stateside Report experience, man.
Yeah, man. GGMU and all that. Glory and all that. You know what I mean?
Every dog has his day. Do you know what I mean? Every dog has his day. So you enjoy your wins. You know what I mean? We'll lick our wounds and go back at it against Leeds next week.
Yeah, if you say so. If you say so, mate.
It's one of those. You got Fulham. So let's see if you can actually do it against the lesser teams. I mean, it's easy.
That is a big test. Yes, you are correct.
It's easy to get up for your Margot Robbies and your you know what I mean? What was Clay's misses again?
Your Megs.
Your Carnavies.
Yeah.
I mean, can you get up for,
We won't name names. You know what I mean? You can get up for the 10 out of 10s.
That's what I'm saying.
But can you get up for the 6s and the 5s?
That's the question. So we'll see if those questions can be asked.
Fair, Fulham are up there in the league. They're about 7th. So,
I mean, Fulham's caused you a lot of trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
So it's just one of those ones. We'll see if United can, be the team that's actually taking the game to the opposition, or if you're just going to step back and try and hit on a counter against Fulham.
We'll find out. We'll see next week.
We'll see if Carrick's chain is real.
See if the Rolex is ticking or if it's hovering. Because right now, perfect timing, matey.
He's in the Pro Bowl.
He is. He is indeed.
Hey, we'll take it. You know what I mean?
My MVP is an MVP conversation. My quarterback is an MVP conversation.
What Trev?
Top 3 candidate, matey.
Really? Isn't Stafford gonna win it?
Probably him or Drake May. If Drake May wins the Super Bowl, he'll get the MVP because he'll get announced before that. But I'm just saying he's in the Super Bowl for a reason now.
Drake May, I think he threw like 83 yards and got to the Super Bowl. That Patriots football is disgusting to watch, and I'm an Arsenal fan, and I'm saying that.
Mate, he stinks. Honestly.
Bro, I watched Devontae Adams crying at the
tough.
Bro, broke me. Broke me.
Tough.
He deserves more.
5 cracks at the Super Bowl, just hasn't done it.
0-5.
Hate to see it. If this was NBA circles, only God knows what they'd be saying about him. But hey, thankfully, we don't have to realize, we don't have to think about that.
That's my WR1.
Anyway.
You know what I mean?
Shout out to Devontae, man. I actually like him. I actually like him as a receiver.
Dak's giving out slowly though, man. He's getting up there.
Yeah, man. Please like, share, comment, rate, subscribe, all that jazzy stuff. Me and Stateside Umph talking NBA, talking hoops. Back again next week.
Same time next week, baby.
Until then, take it easy, lads.